Hello, fellow GWENT players, and welcome back to The Witcher Trials. We currently have a faction challenge going on, and I mean, come on. Is it ever gonna be a question which faction I choose for this account? Like, seriously? So yeah, faction challenge, Scoia'tael. Play 6 rounds with a supported faction. In this case, Scoia'tael. But before we do that, I want to look at some cards that we can craft to upgrade our Francesca deck. Now, I've been looking at the deck and I wanted to add Barnabas, but I think the way the deck is right now is actually perfectly fine. So let's just see what we can do here. Alright, so for this video, I want to try some post-commentary and try out new things, because why the hell not? I mean, it's more content in a shorter time span. So first game, Henselt, which he starts off with Portal, but there was yet no engine that I wanted to deal with, until he drops his Spellweaver. Zap! Lyrian Cavalry also started to grow into a half-decent poison target. Poison denied! My opponent was 20 points up at this point, but that didn't stop me from pushing this round with my second poison. With 3 cards in hand, my opponent finally decided to pass, and I was able to win the round with a Cleaver's Muscle, who I earlier in the game buffed with my Dwarven Agitator. Round 2 against Henselt. The idea was simple. I mean, we can push with this hand actually, yeah, we can definitely push with this hand. It's not too bad. Well, that was the case, until he decided to use his Henselt to stay ahead of me. At this point, I just thought, so I think actually passing here is alright. Like, again, with Francesca, it's not that bad to go a card down because your leader ability is just so strong. It actually doesn't matter if you're a card down. And in the end, my prediction was right. Even a card down, I was able to create a crazy amount of points thanks to Water, Justice, and Oak, which in the end won me the game. Next game, Woodland Spirit. I play my Synthesis rather early because I was still waiting for a decent poison target, which eventually came in the form of a Brewis. After that, my opponent decides to pass and I'm forced to win the round with Muzzle. After deciding to go for the dry pass in round 3, I realize I do need to draw specials here though. Either Justice, I mean even Dryad Keris at this point, I don't mind too much, but I would like to have the main cards here. 1 mulligan left. Will I be able to draw a Scoia'tael special card? Are you serious? That's a problem. And a problem it was. With a mere 7-point poison, and one of my Keris targets being assaulted by Imlerith's Wrath, I lose the game by a mere point. Feels kind of terrible. Alright, now we get a Scoia'tael keg, which we're just going to open here. I'd love to get some good cards here, but we don't get any good cards. We get Waylay though. Next game, Usurper. He starts with Nilfgaardian Knight, which is my immediate poison target, which he then answers with this. Oi, could you not do that? The idea now was to win on even cards, which we managed to actually do. And in round 2, even with his 6 carryover, I decide to push the round and buff Skags. I managed to force out Portal and Tibor out of him while doing so as well. At the end of round 2, I pass with a 7-point Skags in my hand, who overwhelms my opponent in round 3. Next opponent, Detlef. 2 Nekorettes on the field, and a blatant misplay lead to my opponent winning the round on even. He pushes round 2 with Spear Tip and Keltulis, who I eventually manage to kill. In the end, he forces my Francesca, and I win by a mere 1 point. In round 3, my best 3 cards were still in deck, and my opponent had a full gold hand, which just left me in the dust. I'm gonna remove a Vigo's Muzzle and an Alzur's Thunder. Instead, I'm gonna add a Kiran, and I'm gonna craft the Barnabas, which boosts an allied elf, dwarf, and dryad unit by 2. So his crafting cost is 800, even though he's an epic card, but that's because he's a Thronebreaker card, and Thronebreaker cards are supposed to be a bit overpriced. But thank God this isn't a legendary, because if he was a legendary, he'd be 3,200 scraps to craft, like Gabor. So I'm glad this is just an epic, and we can craft him for 800, which we're just gonna do. After that, I face Francesca. Now what's important in the Francesca mirror is that you have to go first in round 3. But I managed to beat the coin flip with my poison on the Swordmaster, which he gave a tactical advantage to, and managed to win the round on even. I thought, great! In round 2 I just have to boost Skags with Agitators and Iflin, while also being able to force out his Water and Milva. Like, that is perfect! Now I was confident in my big Skags and passed. But I wasn't going first in round 3, I had no water, and he also purified my poison, which led to an overwhelming defeat. After that, I thought that more things had to change. Alright, so I've changed the 4 provision package a little bit because Blue Mountain Elite has just been annoying me this entire time. So I added Elven Swordmaster instead and added Skirmisher instead. I think this could balance it out a bit better than what we had before, so let's just see how that goes. After these slight changes, I was hoping for a better result against opponents like Meave, who immediately pops Portal with 2 Tridems. After this, the whole point of the round for me was just to buff my Skags and get out as soon as possible, while he just smashed engines into my face. To which I say, that's a bit ridiculous. So I'm just gonna pass. This is like, alright, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter to me at this point anymore, this round. Round 2, he starts with the Black Ryler. Now I was unsure if he actually wanted to push this round, so I played it safe with the poison on the Ryler. Poison denied! But with Tridem gone, in round 1, there weren't really any big poison targets coming in the future rounds. So I kept the toxicity high, which forced the pass out of him. I finished round 2 with a poison so I could keep most of my control options for round 3, which helped keep most of his engines in check. But little did I know that his deck would run Regis against my careless row stacking. But in the end, it wasn't enough against my poison and leader ability. His last card, Lacerate, made me realize. So he's like an entire row punish deck, that's kind of funny. Didn't even win against the most row stacking deck in the game. Next game, Calvite. After a slow start from both of us, my opponent tries his luck. Oh my god. Oh Jesus. That's not good. That's not good at all. Alright, so now water was out of the equation entirely. And I realize his deck was a Witcher deck. And he goes and does this. Alright, I swear. Oh my god, and he banishes Skags as well now? Oh Jesus, this guy's got RNG on his side today. Alright, so he managed to banish my water and my Skags, but he was playing very low tempo, so I decided to go for an early pass. But he also manages to take the round with his Leo Bonheart. In round 2, during my mulligans, I find my Justice and therefore also find my Francesca target. And he dry passes round 2. So in round 3, I start with some double Justice and proceed to demolish his engines with my control cards. And before my opponent knew it, I was 50 points ahead of him. Yeah, sorry buddy. Next game, Detlef. The game starts off with my opponent abusing the coin flip with his Karathi Heatwave on my Swordmaster. After that, I still try to stay in the game and push for the round by spending my boosted Skags, which forced out Oriana. After that, I decided to pass on even. In round 2, he pushes me using all of his leader charges. In the end, we miss out by 1 point because of the bleeding, so we are forced to use Francesca. Round 3, top deck against Detlef. Seems a bit of a deja vu, doesn't it? Well, let's hope this time he doesn't draw all of his insane cards in round 3. Well, god damn it. What is this? Oh my god, how do they always draw the best cards? Next game, Demavent. And I mean, as bad as the gameplay was today, there's no way we lose against Demavent, right? Right? Of course we're not losing to Demavent. Get out of here. Alright, now my next opponent, Calvite, was going to be a bit more challenging than Demavent. And knowing what happens this game, I'm so glad we won the coin flip. I mean, just look at his round 1. Vigo, Menno, Roderick, into Portal. I mean, I got out of this round quickly with only one mindset. Okay, so poison, good. Anything else, kind of bad. In round 2, he played Tibor and passed, forcing out one of my poison tools. But I was confident that I would draw another one of my poisons in round 3, which we do. In In round 3, while we were waiting for poison targets, we just smashed tempo. And in the end, we didn't get only 1, but 2 great poison targets. Die! Die! Goodbye! Next game, Eridin. I assumed his deck was gonna be Keltalus. And my assumption was correct. So I deal poison to his Keltalus, which forces out his pass. In round 2, I play it safe and go for the dry pass. In round 3, the first card he plays is a Spear. Now this is clearly Scorch or Epidemic, but this still happens. Does he have Scorch? Or Epidemic? Because I want to play this now. I really want to play this Synthesis here. It feels kind of clunky though. There's some hard punishes for this, like Epidemic. If he has Epidemic, that's a bit bad. Because he has Spear, he can definitely play Epidemic as well. But that defeats the whole purpose of Keltalus, doesn't it? Or I could just force out Keltalus by playing Francesca into water, into the Justice. I need, oh my god, I'm almost running out of time here. But we did it. We made it in time. So that's good. Out comes his Keltalus. If he Epidemics this, yeah, he could also Epidemic this. Or Scorch it, that's fine. Now the reason I was always talking about Keltalus is because I was afraid of the Renew into Keltalus. So I was trying to force out the Keltalus. Turns out he didn't have Renew into Keltalus. Rather, a big Spear Tip and Imlerif. And I deal with both of them. In the end, I win with a 12-point Oak. Next game, Sigismund Dijkstra. He turn 1 plays Novigradian Justice. I poison one brawler and kill the other. Poison denied. After he puts out his Executioner and gives a tactical advantage, I decide, alright, it's time to pass. In round 2, he decides to dry pass and go for the long round. Now he likes the long round because of his double Seductress. I deal with one and poison the other. In the end, with the power of Barnabas, Skags, and my leader ability, my opponent couldn't keep up with his Borzodi. One more win to rank 5. Who will stand in my way? Bruverhoog, and not just any Bruverhoog. It was Bruverhoog with straight up full movement. And after I deal with most of his movement engines, I pass 9 points up, forcing out both Kiran and a Bruver tick out of him. In round 2, he dry passes. In round 3, double water, some poison, a big Skags, and a Barnabas finisher simply secure my rank up pretty smoothly. And yeah, that concludes the post commentary. Please write down in the comments whether you prefer this or live gameplay commentary. I would really like to know because I was trying something new for this episode and hopefully it goes over well, hopefully it looks good. It was just for Witcher Trials and I just wanted to try something new here. So yeah. Alright, and that wraps up the episode. We got to rank 5. From now on I'll try and get more than 1 rank up per episode, but that's not going to be that easy, especially the higher ranks we go, the more decks we're going to be facing, the more good decks we're going to be facing. Today was kind of unlucky to a certain extent. For example, the game against Woodland, us not drawing a good target for our Francesca was pretty bad. The 2 games against Detlef where we went into top deck and he drew every single gold that he needed to draw. Kind of unlucky, of course, but sometimes in card games that just tends to happen. Other than that, I think we kind of did alright. It was a slippery slope for sure, but we got out of it and got into rank 5 finally. So if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe for more Gwent content, and I'll see you soon.